What's up guys, and welcome to FPL Today, and welcome to the Game Week 12 team selection video where we go over how I did in Game Week 12 just briefly because it was about a week ago, and what my plans are for Game Week 13. So let's get straight into it, and we start off with the fact that my defence absolutely bossed it. The defence managed to get 33 points in total, if we don't count Sanchez's -1 for that red card that he got. But Trent Alexander-Arnold had a blinder of a game despite the fact that Liverpool lost, and Ben White, Livramento and Reece James have been extremely consistent for me, and all of them are capable of getting returns seemingly every game week. In midfield, we didn't do too bad. We did also manage to get 27 points from the likes of Rafinha, Smith Rowe and Mohamed Salah, getting his 5 points doubled to 10 because he had the captaincy armband. But we are disappointed with Mbeumo and Brentford in general. And then, of course, the front line did pretty much nilch with 2 points from Antonio, even though they scored 3 goals against Liverpool, and 1 point for Ronaldo. Mahrez was in the starting 11, but he didn't play. Unfortunately for me, he didn't come off the bench, which meant Ben White came into the side for 8-point swing. We do have 2 transfers available for after the international break and for Game Week 12. So let's have a look at what we might possibly do for that game week. So there is the possibility that we go with a back 5, which consists of Steele in goal. That's on the assumption that he will start as Sanchez has the red card. The whole point I picked Steele was he was meant to be the backup for Sanchez. We'll try and confirm that before the game week starts, and we may have to go to someone like Foster as my backup, which is only 0.1 million more than Steele for the game week. Now, Foster might not be the best bet long term, but he might be a short fill gap for me until I do hit the wild card. Then in defence, we are waiting to hear what is the case with Livramento. On Premier Injuries, which is Ben Dinnery's site, go and check him out on Twitter, and also check out premierinjuries.com. Livramento is down as having a knot, so we're hoping that he should be okay for this game, especially as that game is against Norwich, and Norwich have been the whipping boys of the Premier League so far. We have Trent Alexander-Arnold with Arsenal at home, not the greatest fixture, because Arsenal could potentially get something from this because they have looked a lot better and Liverpool have been conceding goals. And Reece James is against Leicester City away. Leicester City not doing the greatest they've ever done, but we know they're capable of a result, so that might be a tough fixture for Reece James. And maybe Tuchel goes for a more defensive lineup. Then we've got Duffy with Aston Villa away as well, going with that back 5. And then we move to the midfield, and we've got Rafinha against Tottenham away. With Conte coming in, I'm not as confident with this fixture as I had been initially. Smith Rowe against Liverpool, again, not the greatest fixture there, and ideally I'd probably want to bench him, although of course Arsenal could get something against Liverpool. Mbeumo, who I'm not happy with, but has a very good fixture against Newcastle, so could we give him 1 extra week just to see if he eventually puts the ball in the back of the net, and it's allowed. And then we've got Salah with Arsenal at home. Salah could still get the captaincy armband, to be honest, with this fixture. However, we could give the captaincy armband to Cristiano Ronaldo with Watford away. Now, if I was a bit more confident in Man United's form right now, the captaincy armband would definitely be on Ronaldo. And we're probably leaning towards now keeping him because after the Watford game, there is a Chelsea game which could be very difficult for them. But after that, it looks like some very good fixtures. And hopefully over the Christmas period, he could be very good for me and help shoot me up those FPL rankings. And then we have Antonio with Wolves away. Again, West Ham been on great form, so Antonio has been disappointing in not getting involved in the points, but it's a fixture where I don't think it's time to take Antonio out of the side. On the bench, it would be nice to hear that Mahrez is going to start against Everton, because then he could come in for the likes of Smith Rowe. And also White against Liverpool, unlikely that I'm going to keep him because White doesn't offer much attacking wise, and I'd fancy Liverpool to get at least a goal in this fixture. So as far as transfers go, I did a whole video on the 7 players I'm currently interested in, and unfortunately I can't go to Cancelo and Conor Gallagher for White and Mbeumo, which would be a nice move for me to be able to make. However, we could do it for Mahrez, so it is possible that we do use both transfers. We might also go and use a transfer for Steele to change him to Foster depending on if we just want to have 2 playing goalkeepers, although that's not something I particularly want, because then I'm going to be looking at the fixtures and trying to predict which goalkeeper will keep a clean sheet. If Livramento is out for a considerable amount of time, then we will transfer him out. Otherwise, we may need to bench him, which would make me want a bit of a stronger defender than the option of White. And if we do want Ramsdale in the future, maybe it's time to get off White as an option in general. So I suppose my move really does depend on if Mahrez is starting. If he's starting against Everton at home, it could just be that we make the 1 transfer and keep hold of 2 transfers going into game week 13. If he's not playing, then it is likely Mahrez goes out for either Conor Gallagher or potentially Jared Bowen, and then we look to get Cancelo in the future, but it really does all rely on Livramento and his injury and whether I think Mahrez is going to play. So guys, in the comments down below, let me know what transfers you're mulling over, and we'll get involved in the comments down below answering your guys' questions concerning that, as well as hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and hitting that notification bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a video on this channel. I've been JNO, this has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.